Hytale's kicking it into high gear now as Simon has announced a huge change to Hytale's release schedule going forward. This is going to change and set expectations that we should have on how quickly things will hit pre-release and release. On top of that, Simon popped into my live stream yesterday and shared a little bit more information about some updates coming and some things they aren't really wanting to do with the game. Also, after finding out a huge change with farmland being saturated by water, I talked with Paris, the lead developer in charge of farming in Hytale, and got some interesting new information from her as well. So first, starting with Hytale's update cadence going forward, Simon posted this tweet talking about their schedule changes. We're going to start getting pre-release updates every week, but full updates will now be spread out more, ranging between 2 and 6 weeks apart, depending on what they're working on fitting into that particular update. This new update cadence is intended to help the developer spend more time in working on the game and less time having to interrupt that process by combining everything into the main update and shipping it. This will help them complete even more content more quickly, so while we won't get to see updates every week anymore like we did for the first 2 weeks, the updates we do see will be bigger and better. This will also help out modders who you can imagine have a hard time keeping up with their mods if updates are hitting very frequently. Now you can try out what is in the pre-release anytime you want by clicking the settings button in the launcher and swapping patch line to pre-release. But you should know that they expect that some things in the pre-releases could be not fully working as intended as players test it out. So if you're going to try and play your normal worlds in pre-release, it's recommended that you back up often, even outside of the automatic backups that your worlds already do. Which reminds me, an important side note here, did you know that your worlds automatically back up every 30 minutes? If you've ever had world corruption or issues, you can simply right-click on your world in-game, click on open folder, and in that folder, there is a backup folder that has a few zip files of every 30 minutes that you've played, which looks to be a total of 6 backups. So if you ever have an issue, you can go in here, unzip the latest or the one before that or the one before that, keep testing back until you find one that has what you want in it or isn't broken or whatever, and you can potentially restore your world without any issue. Honestly, it's really great that they've put this in the game. It actually shows that they really care about players a lot, because there's nothing worse than losing a world that you spent dozens or maybe hundreds or even thousands of hours on. So having those automatic backups can definitely be a real lifesaver. Now, once they feel like they have everything in the pre-release polished and working properly, this is when they will decide to ship it to the full version of the game. Again, every 2 to 6 weeks, just depending on how many things they want to throw into that update and how long it takes them to get everything nice and polished. Now, for the time being, we are going to keep calling these updates by their update number, with 1 and 2 being done and update 3 coming later. I asked Simon if we we're going to get any sort of version numbers at any point, and he said this isn't really something that they're too worried about at the moment. On a side note, as part of this thread, Simon did reveal that they are likely going to start looking into controller support in the coming weeks. This isn't something that's going to happen instantly once they decide to begin working on it, but I get asked about this all the time. So for my controller players out there, stay tuned. More info will be coming out for this over the upcoming next couple months or so. Now, continuing with the update news, some hotfixes did get pushed to the game today, the 28th. There were some graphical performance issues that got fixed, including some input lag on NVIDIA graphics cards, some stability fixes, and some gameplay improvements fixing an issue with the compass pointing in the right direction, better block placing in creative mode, and fixes to teleporting, and some issues with the crossbow. Now, not much has been said yet about what is coming in Update 3. I did report on a couple little things in my last news video, so go back and watch that if you want to see what those are. So when Simon hopped into my stream yesterday, I asked him about some upcoming things, and he revealed that several new blocks are coming to the game soon in creative mode that players should be on the lookout for. He also mentioned more waypoints coming for the map, which I know a lot of players have been wanting. I did tell him about an idea that I had regarding adding a cartography table that would allow us to craft special marker designs, special waypoint marker designs. Think things like skulls or a cave or different colors and things like that, etc. And an interesting piece of information that Simon responded with to this was that they don't really want to overbloat the game with workstations, so they may not be adding many more, if any at all. Now, I'm kind of curious what you all think about this down in the comment section below. I do think that you don't want to have too many required workstations, things like the workbench, the armor and weaponsmith benches, the builder's workbench, even the furniture workbench to an extent. But I do think that optional workbenches, things like a cartography table for fun and cool additional map features, or maybe a fisherman's bench for fishing, which isn't really a required game mechanic. I think these things can be fun as long as they're done well. And again, they remain optional. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Now, moving on to some other news, we were working on some farming in my stream, and chat kept telling me to place water in rows for my crops because it would hydrate the land. So we did some sciencing, and we found out that water does not hydrate farmland anymore. It used to, but with an update that hit today, it doesn't hydrate farmland anymore. I did have this confirmed by several people in chat that had just been using this method yesterday, and they were able to confirm my findings. So I decided to ask the lead of farming, Paris, about this. She informed me that they did not make any intentional changes to this, but also that water hydrating farmland was some leftover unintended mechanic. So they do not intend for farmland to get hydrated in this way by a water source sitting beside it. So it would be good not to expect it to make a return. She also let us know that they are going to explore other better ways for players to progress into watering crops better via watering cans, possibly even a sprinkler system or something other than a sprinkler system. So again, I'm kind of curious what you all think down in the comments below about this too. I think a new watering can that holds more water, maybe one that can water numerous crops at a time, would be really great. If you didn't know, a watering can will increase the growth rate of your crops by 250%, which is quite a lot. I wouldn't mind a sprinkler style system to be in Hytale, but as we discussed in my last news video, we know automation is about to start being worked on in the coming months, and I think that automatic watering should definitely be worked into the automation system rather than being a simple sprinkler that you place down. So I'm curious to see if you agree or disagree with me on this. If you found this video informative, do me a solid and click the like button so YouTube shows it to more people. Subscribe for more videos and live stream notifications. And if you want to support more Hytale content, consider picking up a channel membership or just using code PROW8413 for any Hytale purchases, whether it's buying the game or whether it's buying things inside of the game through servers, etc. And make sure to let your friends or family know to use my code too if you're encouraging them to purchase Hytale. Thanks for watching. It's time for me to Hytale it out of here, and I'll see you out there in Orbis. Goodbye.